Leaders are always learning, and we have to be flexible. The title of leader is not meaning that you are an expert on leadership.
To all those that come to this happy place, welcome.
So, The Lion King immediately takes me back to my childhood. Probably my favorite movie of all time, or at least up there. Definitely my favorite Disney movie all time. Newer ones that have come out like Moana, Tangled, Princess and the Frog, Frozen, Encanto, all great movies. Don't get me wrong. I love them. I enjoy them. But the nostalgia of Lion King, then maybe like Toy Story, literally hits me here, right here. My feels every time Lion King comes on, just the opening scene alone, nothing can top that. Literally nothing can top that. So it's fitting when I start thinking back to Disney leadership, business, aspects that have built my character are the things that I grew up on. So when I go to leadership or styles of things that I like, Lion King probably sticks out more than most. Specifically, we're going to break down characters, two of them. I could do more, but I think I'm going to make them another video. What was that? Okay, whatever. Hold on, I might need to see what that is. And it's not on my phone. So where was I? Talking about leadership, Lion King, why I would go there. We go back to this. Yeah, so there's a bunch of characters that display leadership style inside of Lion King, not just including the big ones like Simba and Scar, but you have Mufasa, Rafiki, Nala. They all display their own versions of leadership because every single person has their own personality, how they like to be led, and then how they like to lead. So today we're covering the leadership styles of Simba and Scar. How can they not only affect a movie, but realistically, how do those real leadership styles that are displayed through character and animation, how do they affect you? And how can they affect the people that are around you, whether you're on a team, you're leading a team, you own a business, or you're part of that business? Let's get after it. The stars of today's show: Simba, Scar. Two very different characters. One, of course, is the villain, and one is the hero that comes in to save the day. So we all go immediately, I'm not the villain. But realistically, the leadership style that he has is portrayed more often than probably what most people think. It's not that these people are evil by any means, it's just, some would say, an older way of thinking, an older way of leading. And some go, it's just the way to get things done the fastest. Scar, traditionally, in his leadership, is considered autocratic, more or less what kings would be, kings and queens that we know of ancient history, or even today. We have kings and queens that are still around. They lead through true authority of a single power with typically no thought of asking for help or innovation from other places. It's kind of strict to the point, and it's their way, what they see as best, and how things are ran. So, some small businesses may have someone who owns it and goes, this is the way that I'm going to do things. You can either step in line or you may leave. Other people in your life, they are very hard nosed, straight to the point. They don't like to break out of their mold. They don't like to look at other experiences as how can I learn from them or how can I be more flexible. It's just who they are, and that's why we love them most of the time. Simba is more of this transformational leader. So we have two versions of a leader. We have the autocratic and we have the transformational. I believe there are 8 total. Again, there are more displayed throughout the movie, but specifically these two, we have your autocratic in Scar, and we have your transformational leader in Simba. So Simba is the hero that we know that comes back to save the day. He is kind of fooled into his father being killed, thinking that it was his fault. Truthfully, it wasn't, but it's easy to manipulate that of a child. Like the mind of a child in that aspect was manipulated through Scar, and ultimately that's why he's the villain. So, how does Simba display his version of leadership? Your transformational leader, they are someone who has the ability to bring in a crowd or a team of people or an individual to buy into a vision and see long-term results and plan for a bigger goal and have people strive in their purpose or to buy into the vision of where they would like to be. They're typically captivating people who are well thought of and well spoken, who are able to communicate clear thoughts to their team that empowers them to move forward. Very different people. Very different people. One is more hard nosed and it's kind of my way or the highway. I don't need your help. Please, I am not going to ask for it, and please do not offer your advice, which is fine for some people. That is how they like to be led. I see that more of like a micromanagement that you have to do every single thing their way. Whereas the transformational leader goes, how can I empower you through creativity and innovation? I want your feedback. Let me know how I'm doing. How can I be better? How can we develop as a team to get better and move forward? And it's the same thing in friends and relationships. It's you have the guys that are typically guys or girls that are this is who I am. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to flex. I'm not saying that you have to change your morals or your values, but the capability of not being flexible for relationships is different. And then you have the guy who's like, yeah, I'm up for anything. I'm usually hungry. I want to move forward. I like to develop us to all move in one direction. That's the difference in character here. Now, one can be manipulated and construed as a villain in some thoughts and aspects. Most villains are or have more tendencies to be autocratic because they rule by fear and control. So it can be easily misconstrued, and it's kind of walking a fine line. Whereas someone who is this transformational leader who goes, I want more input, I want us to do things together, I want us to work collectively towards a goal. Downsides of that person can sometimes either be they're more of a pushover or the long term dream kind of drowns out the day to day, and either things are lost day to day, whereas like activity might be or might not be on point enough to actually get to that goal. Not saying that it happens all the time, but it's easily for it to happen. And then decisions for that goal or for that purpose or that vision, because there's so many voices sometimes that it can lead to decisions taking forever to get made. So, what does this all mean for you? That's the biggest thing. At the end of the day, you can't change who someone necessarily is, but hopefully you can open their mind to new avenues. There are more types of leaders. I will probably list them in the description below so you can look at them and see where you fall. Where do you like to be led by, or who do you like to be led by, and how do I like to lead? What is the environments of which those leadership styles excel? Meaning, for like the autocratic, in times of high risk, or maybe things need to drastically change for the better or just into a different direction, you might want someone like an autocratic person to step in. Because what they'll do is they're going to make quick, fast, decisive decisions made by themselves because they see a path that needs to be done, and things can get done quickly because things are very in control of them, and they go, this is how you need to do it, and there's a set forth plan, and no, you cannot intrude on this, at least not at this moment, because things have to get done because we have to save X, whatever it is, your business, your life, your whatever. Whereas, where does the other person excel? Times of growth, prosperity, flexibility, that is where a transformational leader will always excel. When things aren't in hard times. Also, to step back, everyone displays different types of leaderships in different environments. That is also very true. You might have more tendencies to lean towards one, but typically, most leaders will also be able to develop or step into different leadership styles in times of need, depending on what their environment needs at that time. So, not everyone is just one or the other. You're going to display things at different times. Crisis, high points, low points, sad, happy. Everyone displays different things. It's whatever the environment or the time needs for that person to display. You just will typically lean towards one more than the other. Now that we have that covered. So, your transformational leader will always, in times of growth, will allow for more growth, will allow for more inclusiveness, development. You'll also get more creativity, which will lead to bigger and better things most times, not all the time. So, how can this affect you when it comes to your workplace? Well, maybe you don't do well with someone who is autocratic because I know, like me as an individual, I can work under all of them because I have the flexible personality to do so. But for me, I go, if you trust in me and give me all the tools to win, and then allow myself to be creative enough to win on my own, you'll get more out of me probably more times than not. If I have to work underneath someone that is autocratic, I also go, I can buckle down, I can put my nose down, and I can grind because maybe that's what's needed of the time. I've worked for both. I can tell you where I prefer to land is more of a transformational leader, someone who empowers me to do more and work towards a bigger goal. But again, we probably all worked for someone who has been similar to this, or you have worked or had friends or family members who are different and you have worked underneath, or the goals of whatever it is you're doing has been influenced by someone like this, whatever leadership it might be at the time. I know there are times that I have to step in and I have to be more autocratic. I don't want to do it long term, but maybe in times of need, like for someone who is on my team that might not be fully grasping the idea of how we do things as an SDR and how we make our cold calls and how to be successful. I have to be more micromanaging in the beginning. Someone who just got hired on, I have to step in a lot. I have to show them and be more direct with them, and this is how we do things. And then as they build up the tools necessary to do the job, I give them more flexibility to be capable of doing things on their own. And then I also go, I now want you to be creative to go and find new routes, do the things that you enjoy, and make the job more of who you are. I don't want you to be me, I want you to be you. So there you go. There's times whenever I have to go into a different type of leadership to give influence to somebody else. Another time would be someone is, which I've had to do this recently, actually, over the last like maybe 6 months ago, is when someone isn't performing. They have been in the game for a while and now they're not performing. So we have to go through a revamp process of how they are doing things. And it goes back to either they're made for this role or they're not made for this role. That is the difference. So I go, we're going to break it down. We're going to go day by day, hour by hour. What can we do to get you back on track to where you are? And as soon as you're there, I then go, I'm going to release you again and go marry and do your own and create more and be more you and make this role your own and go for your vision or whatever it might be to help you in your own personal life. So, your leadership styles ultimately have to be just as flexible as who you are, depending on the environment and the time of which you need them. So, how do we get these leadership styles to influence who you are? You already have them. You just need to recognize what or who you are or prefer to be at most times when it comes to leadership. Leaders are always learning, and we have to be flexible. The title of leader is not meaning that you are an expert on leadership. A leader is someone who has the ability to pull somebody and move them into a hopefully positive direction. It could go the other way, but hopefully into a positive direction and help build toward a goal. It's how you can help pull the most out of somebody when they may not see it. How can you build skills or teach what you do in your space? Not how to be the leader, but how can you help create more capabilities as an individual to more people? You have to be willing to learn. And what I would say is, again, I will add either a link or a definition breakdown on different styles of leadership. Go see, read them. What do you feel that you lean more towards? Again, I believe it's either 7 or 8 of them. I will link them all below. What that allows you to do is 2 things. Go deeper into your skill of that leadership, keep learning more and how to make the most of that leadership style. 2, learn how you want to be led. Most of the time, the leader that you are is also how you like to be led, but not all the time. Go learn how you like to be led. That will also help your environment for which you work. If the leadership style is not how you like to excel, then either that place is not right for you, or maybe you need to find another leader. Because at the end of the day, it's all on how you perform. It is the greater good of the company or the place or whatever it is that you are doing for everyone to move in one direction, however the leadership is. But being a professional, you also have to have some selfishness for yourself to make sure that you excel and provide for you or your family or both, to go, I need a place that's going to work better for me. Once you have those 2 questions answered, again, those are, what leadership style do I typically lean more towards? It might be 1 or more. 2, how do I like to be led more often than not? Your professional career, whether it's you're owning a business, building a business, getting started on a career with another company, it allows for you to excel quicker in the career of your choosing, because now you can dictate where and what you want to do on a clearer thought process, and it ultimately ends up leading to your success, the money that comes with it or does not come with it, just the skills that you learn, your capabilities to grow and develop and flourish more often than not. Just like if you were to figure out, oh, I want to go skateboard and I've never been skateboarding, well, I'm probably going to look up how to skateboard first. It's the same thing with, how do I want to be led and how can I help lead the people that are around me to make sure I have better results. As leaders, we have to take the responsibility to continue to learn, develop our skills, and harness the relationships that are around us for a positive outcome for you and the people that are around you. So keep learning, answer the questions that I've asked, those 2 questions, answer them in the comments. I want to know more about the audience that I'm serving. How can I be better for you as a leader, as a guide, as a coach or educational teacher? How can I do better? What can I do for the individuals that are leaning more towards me? If I'm more of a transformational leader, what can I do better to make sure that I stay clear, consistent, and not fall into the downfalls of what a transformational leader might be? Or if I come across as autocratic to you, what can I do to not lead by fear or control? What can I do to really help you guys keep moving in a positive direction and get the most from what I do? With that, guys, I appreciate your time. I hope the Disney influence of this video on leadership, you got something out of it. If you didn't, let me know why. If you did, let me know why. I need to know more about you guys so I can help develop not only me but the audience that I'm serving. Thanks again. I appreciate your time. Thanks for spending time with me. I'm hoping to get more out on community tabs, more reels. I want to get more real for you guys, literally me. I want to get more in constant communication, whether it's daily or something like that, small clips outside of these big, long videos. But for now, be you, be great, and I will catch you in the next one.